Welcome to another episode of Thanks to You. This week, I'm actually traveling to Korea. Can you guess who I'm gonna pick this time round?
A little edit from editing Danielle here, but I forgot to explain what the series is actually about. So, in order to thank all the YouTubers that I've watched for the past few years that I have been watching BookTube, I've created a series in order to read all the books that they have recommended to me. And so if you haven't checked out my very first video that I did, please do at the link above or here.
In this vlog, we'll be reading How High We Go in the Dark by Sequioa Nagamatsu, which is recommended by the one and only Cari from Cari Can Read. And she lives in Korea, which makes it the most appropriate YouTuber to pick. So Cari Can Read is someone that I followed, I think, 2 years ago or last year. And she started out her booktube channel in 2020. And she's originally someone who only did travel and travel and lifestyle content on her first channel, which is Cari Cakes. Cari's channel is primarily dedicated to doing a lot of compilation, book recommendations. Like she will have books that are perfect for people who enjoy cozy fantasy, books that I read this year and whatsoever. She has a lot of wrap-ups, not much of dedicated reviews, and a lot more of vlogging and just talking about series that she enjoys in totality. The videos that a lot of people enjoy from her is her Sarah J Maas compilation videos, which is where she'll go through different Sarah J Maas videos and talk about the whole book in summary. And it's entertaining for those who enjoy that, but I'm not a Sarah J Maas fan, so I don't watch those videos. My favorite videos from her are actually the videos that she probably suffers from the most. That sounds horrible. But it just means that she has to suffer reading books that are really popular on BookTube, on Book Talk, and mostly Book Talk. Those horrible, horrible books in my opinion, horrible too, sorry. Just painful reading experiences for her like Zodiac Academy or the Crave series. Those are a lot of fun to watch, but may not be the most fun for her to do. Some of her favorite books consist of Legendborn or Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. And then all the Sarah J Maas books, she's a big fan of them. That's why she can do those insane summary compilations of Sarah J Maas books. Cari typically enjoys YA books, it seems, in the fantasy or romance realm. And she reads a lot of romance as well as fantasy romance. Sometimes she dabbles into adult fantasy, and the other genre that she dabbles well into is also literary fiction. But today, the reason why I picked How High We Go in the Dark is because that is one of her favorite books of 2022. But other than that, the summary actually really intrigued me. It seems to be set in a post-pandemic world, which we all are currently in. And I guess coming from a background of being a nurse a nurse that graduated into the pandemic, I felt the qualms of a pandemic world. And so I felt like the book would give me a lot of interesting conversations to have. I hope you continue to watch this video and enjoy it, but I'll keep you guys updated in Korea. Perfect for Cari since she lives there. Oof. I just got back from work and I finally have the time to sit down and finish this vlog. So as you can see, I enjoyed myself thoroughly in Korea. It was the best time. I ate the best food. I had the best time with my sister and we really enjoyed ourselves. And now I'm back at work and sad. See you. Let's close out the vlog finally. So what do I have to say about How High We Gonna Dog? This is a strange book that made me feel strange things. No, but that's not a bad thing at all, you know. It's a pandemic book, which is what I said in the earlier clips. So it hit home in a different way that I can't quite explain. I felt like this is a book that was so much more than just about a virus spreading across Earth, but it was truly a book about how humans are and how humans react to big tragedies such as this and how we persevere even in the deepest, darkest times of our lives. And though the virus is not quite like COVID, it's way deadlier and it lasted a whole lot longer than COVID. At least that's how it's insinuated in here. It felt like our experience, no? When I graduated as a nurse, I graduated into the pandemic, really, into the height of the pandemic. And there was a lot of fear and there was a lot of pain and a lot of unsureness of the future. I felt like this collection of stories that string into a full story really addressed how I felt during the pandemic and how terrifying it is and how I could see humanity struggle in all sorts of ways. You know, when I have to deal with my patients, when I have to deal with my patient's family, their feelings are something I see right here in this book. That kind of solemn grief and pain that they feel from losing people and not knowing how many more will be infected. I can really see the feelings of not knowing what to do with the unknown right here in this book. And I see it reflected in my life and in this story. I saw the emotions of the people that I cared for and also the family of the people who I cared for, all right here, clear and plain as day. If you're someone who doesn't enjoy short stories per se, you might find that the pacing of this book a little jarring and it lacks some level of continuity, which is what I felt because I'm not the biggest short story fan. But the short stories still link up to one singular story of just humanity surviving and believing in hope even in the bleakest of times. We see how humanity struggles to cope with the devastating disease. We see how they're resilient in search of new hope, even though it feels like all hope is lost. We see their griefs and their pains of losing someone over and over again and never knowing when they will ever lose another person. And then we see the fear of wondering when this pandemic will ever stop and when their time will ever come and when the regrets arise from that lack of time, you know, when they are the ones who got infected instead. It makes me feel like this is such an interesting book. It's able to elicit all sorts of emotions from me, whether it is anger, whether it is fear, whether it is pain, whether it is love, all sorts of emotions from different ranges of, from good ones to bad ones. And I love how actually Sequioa Nagamatsu tells these stories so plainly and so truthfully. It's like he looked into our hearts and he knew what he was looking for. And he told them on these pages, and we feel seen, and I felt seen at least. But I wonder what would I categorize this kind of book? Is this like a literary fiction, science fiction? I guess so. I think this is my kind of thing because I'm not the biggest fan of science fiction, but literary science fiction, something with more depth in the science fiction-y part, kind of gets to me. And a truly solid experience reading this one, and one that I know I will grow with each reread that I have. But what does reading this book tell me about Cari? I can tell that she's someone who cares about reading books that make her think, that make her feel. Because a lot of her choices of books is always about something that makes her feel strongly, whether is it a bad emotion or a good emotion. Therefore, she reads like the Crave series, the Zodiac Academy series. She reads all those series to feel something intensely that she either loves or extremely hates. And this book by far must have elicited one of the most important emotion that all humans feel, which is hope. That's what I feel is her reading type, I guess. So, did I enjoy the experience reading one of Cari's recommended books for 2022? I did. I don't know whether to think that it's surprising, but I definitely did not think that I would love this as much as I did. Maybe because I didn't enjoy the front half as much, but when I reached the end, that sigh of relief that I let go after reading this, I felt it in my heart. So, I'll probably give this like a 4 stars out of 5, or in my rating that would be like an A minus, you know. Well, I had a good time. But thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.